What is going on, peoples? This is Josh right back here from Inside Wrestling Truth. Um, this is number 9 of our Survivor Series Marathon 1995. I've been doing the reviews. I've been working a lot, so it's been hard for me to do the reviews. It's like I was doing in the beginning. But today we're gonna go over 1995. I really enjoyed the event. I thought it was a rather better Survivor Series that they had. I'm just going to review it, and so let's get right on into it, shall we? First off, when the show opens up, opens up, first off, it's in Washington D.C. and it's all about the USA, and all that. I guess that was like the thing for them for the event, But anyway, the introduction, we get Mr. Perfect introduction. They introduce Mr. Perfect. He gets a loud pop from the crowd, and he comes down to commentate with Vince McMahon and Jim Ross. Then we have the Survivor Series. Jumps off. First match is they go back to the names again, but it's the Underdogs versus the Body Donnas. And the Underdogs have Marty Jannetty, Hakushi, Bob Holly, and Barry Horowitz versus the Body Donnas of Skip, the original Body Donna, Rad Radford, Dr. Tom Pritchard, and the 1-2-3 Kid. This is right after the 1-2-3 Kid sold out to the $1 Million Man. Decent match. It was good for a, it was good for an opening match, I have to say. I do believe that the 1-2-3 Kid ends up being the sole survivor. But it was a pretty good match, good opening match, I'd have to say. Then we go with Todd Pettengill interviews Jim Cornette, Owen Hart, Dean Douglas, Yokozuna, and Mr. Fuji. They're talking about the wild card Survivor Series elimination match later on in the night, and pretty good promo, Then we have the Survivor Series, Todd Pettengill interviews the president. It's like a Bill Clinton imposter. Pretty silly shit, but I guess it was funny in 1995, Then we go to a singles match between Bam Bam Bigelow and Goldust. This was actually a pretty good match. Bigelow puts Goldust over. This is when Goldust first came to the WWF. But he put Bigelow put Goldust over, and it was I thought it was a pretty good match on the card, It's cool, see Bigelow put Goldust over like that. It's always cool to see people put people over, I think. Then we go back to Todd Pettengill. Remember the old announcer for the WWF. He interviews the Bill Clinton imposter and Bob Backlund. And Bob Backlund kind of pretty much clowns the shit out of him. But in Bill Clinton style, he's kind of like turns a negative into a positive, kind of funny. It's kind of funny for them to even act like it was Bill Clinton and then Bob Backlund, he's like, you call me Mr. Bob Backlund, just a goofy skit. I guess they didn't have nothing for Bob Backlund that night, so it's really putting. Then we go to a flashback of Raw between King Mabel and The Undertaker. This is where King Mabel and Yokozuna smashed The Undertaker's face on Raw. and then Undertaker has to eventually wear a mask. Kind of a silly storyline. I don't really remember what actually happened to Undertaker's face when he had to wear the mask. I mean, seriously, I know the storyline was his face was supposed to get crushed by King Mabel and Yokozuna, but I don't know if that was really the reason why he wore the mask. Then we go to the Survivor Series elimination match between the Dark Side versus the Royals. The Dark Side, we have Undertaker, Savio Vega, Henry Godwin, and Fatu, who is Rikishi, versus King Mabel, Isaac Yankem, Glenn Jacobs, who's Kane, Triple H, and Jerry Lawler. I thought this was a pretty good match. The Undertaker's whole team, survives. Savio Vega, Henry Godwin, Fatu do a lot of the work. And at the end, Undertaker comes in and cleans house. And Mabel takes off and gets counted out, and they all survive. Nelson Frazier, I liked him as King Mabel. I thought that was a cool gimmick for him. He's had so many, but I really like that, I like that gimmick for him as King Mabel. And this was Triple H. This was back before Triple H was anything. This is when he was carrying like Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash's bags and shit. Yeah, he was kissing their ass. But yeah. Anyway, decent match. Then we get like small promos from Bret Hart and Diesel before their match for the evening, for their WWE Championship match. Both mediocre promos, I'd say. Then Todd Pettengill interviews the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Jim Cornette, Sid, Bulldog, Shawn Michaels, and Ahmed Johnson. It's a pretty good promo, and then Shawn Michaels kind of interrupts it and ruins it all. Shawn Michaels always had to hog the spotlight, kind of like somebody else that wrestles today. And if you don't like our comments, you can go fuck yourself. But it's the truth. And like Shawn Michaels is trying so hard, it just kills me, like he was basically stroking Ahmed Johnson. Like really, like he wanted to be his best friend and shit. Go back and watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Then shit just starts getting great. We have the Survivor Series Wild Card Elimination match. This was a very good idea and a very awesome match. We had Owen Hart, Yokozuna, Dean Douglas, who is Shane Douglas, and Razor Ramon. You had the 3 heels in the face, and you had 3 faces in the heel, against British Bulldog, Psycho Sid, Ahmed Johnson, and Shawn Michaels. This match was crazy, back and forth. They all put Shawn Michaels over. Sid gets super kicked by Shawn Michaels, and Sid power bombs him, and 1, 2, 3 Kid comes out at the end of the match and gets Razor eliminated. And then it's the last 3 guys are Yokozuna versus Ahmed and Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels and Ahmed beat up on Yoko, and they're the sole survivors. And I love the commentary. If you go back and watch this match, I love the commentary that Shawn Michaels, or Mr. Perfect, does on Shawn Michaels, because it is almost the fucking truth. Go back and listen to it. It is a great shit. Ahmed Johnson and Shawn Michaels are the sole survivors. Then we have the WWE Championship match between Bret Hart and Diesel. for the WWE Championship match. Um, it's a really good match, actually. It's one of the best matches I've seen Diesel Kevin Nash in, because he's really only got about 6 moves. So, Bret Hart made him look good. It's one of the first times I ever seen a wrestler in the WWF go through a table. I mean, they were doing it at ECW, but Bret Hart was one of the first ones to go through a table at the time. What it comes down to is Nash is just beating the living shit out of Bret Hart. Like I said, he throws him through a table. He drags him in the ring. He keeps trying to set him up to powerbomb him. And Bret Hart don't have the energy to stand up. And Nash just stands there looking stupid. And then Bret Hart hits him with the small package. 1, 2, 3. Bret Hart's the new champion. Sensational match. Then Kevin Nash, Diesel, whatever you want to call him, gives Bret Hart like 3 fucking fucked up jackknives, man. They just look like they hurt. They were kind of sideways instead of straight down. Go back and check it out, but it was a killer match. I really, really enjoyed Survivor Series 1995. It's one of the better ones, and it's definitely one of my favorites. The last 2 matches on this event were just killer. But like I always say, get your money and pay your bills. Peace.